How y'all doing out there? I just wanted to take the time to check in. Big day. Um, for those of you who don't know, today is March 11th, 2021. But 16 years ago, March 11th, 2005, is the day that I drove myself to the Golden Gate Bridge. Day that I can, I'll probably remember for the rest of my life. A day I'm forever grateful that existed because it catapulted me to my purpose, surprisingly enough. Um, just one of those things that you just really can't explain, and that's why I always try to take the time and encourage people in their darkest moments that we have no idea what these moments are for, but they are for preparation of something far more greater than where we're at. And we have to take these as building blocks and just allow ourselves to deal with these emotions that when we go through these things. Because I mean, if anybody would have told me that 16 years ago where I was at, that I would have drove myself to the Golden Gate Bridge and literally jumped off and over the railing, then went through all those emotions, and you would have told me I would be founder of a foundation who wants to help people like myself. I mean, come on, man. That's is something that only God himself could have orchestrated. It's nothing that man could have done. It's just it's 100% God in this. I think about that day. It's just it is beyond a miracle, because it's not just it's not necessarily the day, it's the afterwards of the day, and it's the lead up, it's the current, it's the the fact that he still got his hand all the way in it, and it just I'm blown away. That day was something that I still have a hard time explaining. Even though I experienced it, I went through it. It's tough. Even going back to the day, I had the opportunity to go out there for a documentary and actually seeing the actual 41 pole spot where this is where I hurled over and nearly ended it all. It blows me away to know that that I am still here, because most people, they see that photo, but they don't really know the real true story behind my life and who I am and what makes me up of the things that I deal with on an everyday basis. That's just one attempt, and I have to just come to the forefront and say, God, it just publicly, I just want to say I appreciate you for just being here for me in these critical moments of my life when I had nobody else. And I'm praying, I'm praying for the people that don't see hope in their lives right now. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever you're up against, it is a struggle and it is difficult. And I know life can be hard, but we serve a God that is just he is beyond anything that we can ever hope or imagine him to be. I think about the critical moments in my life where I couldn't figure out how I was going to make it, and somehow I made it through, just by grace, just by the mercy, just by some days when I didn't even believe, I honestly believe that being raised in the church and literally having that relationship with God early in life sustained me enough for the times that I had departed away from God, and I deposited enough praise and enough worship and enough prayers in my early life that they sustained me from 13 to about 30, 31, where I got where I was completely out of church. I was completely away from God. And just to think about, March 11, 2005, just to go back to that day and just think about, that never did I pray, never did I even think about asking God for any help. I did all that on my own, and he still showed up for me, which is phenomenal because I had it in my brain that I had to jump. And I did jump. Truth be told, I did jump. I didn't, I didn't, plant myself over that ledge. I literally jumped and was distracted. My first responder, Sergeant Briggs, bless him, distracted me enough, and I was able to position myself on that ledge. And that's where life kind of just changed for me, because it was the first time in my life that I was in a situation where I didn't have a choice but to talk. I was angry, of course, for the first 10 minutes that I was out there, and I was yelling at him, going back and forth with him, and just upset that I was in this situation, because I didn't come here to talk. I didn't come here to definitely be on this ledge 220 feet in the air, but God had other plans. He knows me. He knows how stubborn I am, and he had to put me in a situation where it was, in order to get the best out of Kevin, you got to put me in high pressure situations, and that's what God had to do. He had to put me in a situation like that, and for years I regretted. I hated everything about being put in that situation and being exposed. I was grateful that I was able to get things out, and that Sergeant Briggs, my first responder, who I didn't even know at the time was white nor a cop. That's why the power of connection, and it is power in your words and when you say them, because I kept my eyes closed the whole time. I had my head down, so my understanding of who this was that was talking to me, I never had that understanding. So I was just going off his voice, and his voice was enough, had enough compassion in it that I allowed him in. And I believe that that's where we have to get better at how we talk to each other, how we speak to one another, because it's the words that we use. When people are in a dark place and we're dealing with a lot, those negative words can be so triggering. And we already telling ourselves negative things. We're already the negative place. There's no positive in the negative place. Those emotions are all negative. So I think that being able to have compassionate words and really being patient. His words were very patient, and very accurate, and they never rushed me. And I was already rushing myself, and for him to rush me, that would have been a deadly situation. So he was very patient, and I was able to articulate how I felt on the inside. Once I was able to calm down, and all this is going on while I'm on a ledge. I mean, I think about just that being in that position and being on that ledge, and knowing that at any moment that it could be over. I mean, there's nothing keeping me here. There's nothing. I mean, but I had to get it out, and I had to be put in that situation. And just to think about, around this time, 16 years ago, just right before noon, I was at the bridge. 16 years ago, I was jumping off a bridge, and to think about the journey over the last 16 years, the first 8 being in denial from the bridge and not even talking about it. I went to the bridge, literally jumped at this in this huge, impactful encounter with my first responder. Traffic at a standstill. Hundreds, if not thousands, of people out there, and I go through the whole emotions of going to psychiatric hospital and getting out and coming home. And you would think after, I would need therapy. I would definitely have to go talk to somebody. And I stayed in denial, because I didn't want to deal with it or confront it. Once I found out that my picture was front page of the San Francisco Chronicle, it exposed me. And I think that pretty much turned me away from anything that I wanted to do, because I didn't know who to go back to. I spent my whole life, people knew me to be, party Kev, jovial Kev, had it all together Kev, or, not drive yourself to the bridge Kev. And that was not something I was ready to face. So I denied it. I stayed away from all family and friends. And, after that incident, I pretty much, I was under a rock. Even before that, a couple years before that, I started being under a rock. So I would distance myself from family and friends and people that knew me, high school, junior high, whatever it was. It was just, people didn't see me for years. I mean, because I was just ashamed of dealing with that emotion of knowing that who drives themselves to the Golden Gate Bridge. I mean, I just never was prepared to deal with it, and I lied about it for 8 years. And it gets to the point where I got back to that point. I lived 8 years of lying about how I felt about it, and in 8 years, I mean, a culmination of things happened. I went to the bridge in March of 2005. My biological grandfather died in May of 2005. In the transition of that, I was away from family and friends for 6 months. And then I transitioned and moved from Oakland to Sacramento in 2005 into 2005, going into 2006. That was a hard transition. Now I'm away from an environment I don't even know. Just a lot of different things, bouncing around different jobs. My grandfather that I was the closest thing to me possibly humanly on earth, passed away in 2007. That rocked me, completely threw me off course. Just a lot of different things happened, after the bridge. I needed healing before the bridge, and it was so many different things that happened after the bridge that, child custody hearing in 2008. I mean, just, going back and forth, dealing with different things with that. I mean, that was hard to deal with. Going through a separation from the relationship I was in. I mean, that was hard to deal with. On top of dealing with, passing away with my grandfather. On top of all these different things happened after the bridge, and I think that it got worse before it got better, because I didn't accept the bridge. It's like the more and more as I didn't accept the bridge, the worse my life got. The worse things kept happening, because I kept putting myself in situations. I kept allowing myself to be in situations that were, detrimental to me and my character. But because I didn't accept, I was so ashamed of this day, of this time where I was exposed, of knowing that the world, knowing that, my the front of my face wasn't shown, but the people that are close to me know that's me on that bridge, and they know me from that picture, and I couldn't deal with that. And so I ran, and in running, I literally was averaging, a couple attempts here and there. Like I'm still, dealing with different issues. I mean, and people see the bridge and they see that's just one attempt. It's so many other times that I've tried. That so many other times that God had to show up for me. So many other times that I was in that dark place and I couldn't pull myself out of. And I think that the more and more I understand that it wasn't me, the more and more I'm able to give Him the glory and the praise, and understand that I was completely out of it. I have always been dealing with deep, dark emotions my whole entire life. So this was no different than any other time in my life. I just kept running and keep not dealing with it. The same thing that led me to the bridge, I went back into that same pattern after the bridge. I mean, but in this time it even got worse, because it was just, I was all over the place. But I just knew I just couldn't. I had to be more of in hiding, and 8 years went by and I kept dealing with so many different things. And like I say, it's grace. If you knew what I knew personally about my life, you would understand that if you ever see me and you wonder how, or wonder why I'm so grateful, or wonder why, if you catch me worshiping, if you have no idea the things that I've been through. It has been, this journey has been probably the realest thing I've ever took on in my whole entire life. Just the really just dealing with me. And I think that as men, we have to learn how to deal with us. We have to really process the things that are inside of us, to really just challenge ourselves to be the greatest us. Because it's really ultimately up to us. The help is there, but we have to decide within us that we need it. And that's a strong thing for us as men to really just admit to. And for years I didn't challenge myself, and I just allowed myself to just continue to just try to figure it out on my own. And ultimately, by the time I got to 2013, I was up to 22 failed suicide attempts. And I just came, publicly and been honest with that number as of about a year and a half ago, because I felt like God put it on my heart. He kept tugging on me to be honest about that, and be honest about, exactly all the things that I've been through, because in that he gets the glory, and I understand that, and that me not talking about it, outcast, or outshines the light that he did give me. And that's why I definitely want to continue to pour into this ministry of really just showing people that there's hope out there. And that's why I tell my story so much, man. I don't tell my story to make things about me, because it ain't got nothing to do with me. I can care less. My whole life I've never cared about me, and it shows in the actions that I have. So it has nothing to do with me. It's more about the message of making people understand. Like, I don't want nobody in this world to ever be in a situation where they feel like they're not good enough, where they feel like their life is not valuable enough, where they feel like they can't make it. We lose one every 40 seconds, and in that 40 seconds of losing that one, 300 more attempts. So that's an astronomical number to know that so many people in this world feel alone. For so many years, I felt like, I was by myself, and if you're out there and you feel like you're alone, you're not. There's so many of us that struggle, and there's so many of us that care about you that are struggling. Like, you just have to get around the circle of people that do value, and you do see you for who you are, with your struggles, and love you for your flaws, and love you for your shortcomings, because your shortcomings are make you who you are. And my flaws are what make me strong. They don't make me weak. And I had to realize that, man. So I'm praying for people, man. Like, I'm praying that somebody get this. I'm praying that you find it in you to keep trying. Yeah, I am. Because I know how tough it gets. Like, I do. But I also know how great it can be if you just surrender it. And that's the part that I'm learning, like, we can learn together. And I don't want to see nobody struggle no more. Like, I don't want to see nobody, like, wake up and feel like, you know what, I can't do this no more. Like I don't value life enough because the people around me don't value me enough. And if that's you, I'm sorry that the people around you don't value you. But that don't mean that you're not valuable. Like, you're tremendously valuable to this cause, to this world. You just got to get around the people that value you. You gotta get around the right connection of people. And sometimes that goes in sacrificing to certain things. Like, if you want better in your life, you got to be willing to make the real sacrifices in your life. You got to make the sacrifices in your life. You got to be willing to say, you know what, I can't do this no more. And then when you say that, you got to stand firm on that, and believe that, it's all gonna change for the better. My life has changed astronomically, and and even when some days when I don't see it and I don't feel it, I have to just believe it, because I go out there and some days I just look at my wife and I know my life has changed because I'm blessed with her, and I'm blessed with this family, and I'm blessed with the things that I have. And I only got these things because I accepted who I was. My life was horrible when I lied about who I was, when I didn't tap into who I really was, and my value, and how valuable I was, and my purpose. My life was horrible, and I've made a lot of decisions not seeing my value. And a lot of people out there, we make these decisions because we don't see our value. And it's just like, if you knew how valuable you were, you would never put yourself through that. You would never put yourself in situations that are hurting you. And I think that you have to see your value. And you can start at any moment of your life. Like, it doesn't matter what you've done or what's done or how much has been affected. Like your value is still the same. And I had to learn that. It's just like, okay, God, how can I encourage anybody? How can I still have value? How can I still have purpose, knowing that I spent my whole life wanting to die, wanting to take myself away from everything you was trying to give me, and I've been hard on myself for so many years, and it's just like, nah, you still keep me, and he's still keeping me, and he's still blessing me, and it's just like, I'm finally like getting it, and I want other people to get it. Like I want people to get it, and that's why I do everything that I do, because I want people to get it. Like I want my message to be heard, to the masses, because I get it. Like I've been in a season of Kevin, do you trust me, since about 2018. And in that season, I've had everything inside of me ripped to shambles, and I've had a point where I've had to find strength that I never knew even existed. And in that, I'm able to let people know how important it is to be vulnerable and be okay with really not being okay. When people say that, it's okay, because everybody in the world is struggling with something. And the more and more I realize that, I'm being more comfortable with being who I am, and and not running away from who I am. Like I'm it's so many things about me that I haven't tapped into, because I was always afraid, because I was like, oh, I'm different. Why do I don't think like other people in the world think? Why do I pray for everybody? Why do I pray for the worst of people? Why do I care about the people that everybody has given up on? Like, why do I care about these people so much? And it's just like, I've spent my whole life not being that way, because I was so afraid of accepting the responsibility of being one of the only people in the world that loves the way I love. And so I have put my love in a box. And I think that now I'm in my point in my life where I'm just like, I'm coming out, and I'm like, all right, God, I need the world to see my heart. I need the world to see that I really care, and how much I care for this, like how much I care for humanity, like how much like I want things to change for this world, like how much that I do have in my heart of the things that I know that can change society, that I'm tired of people waking up feeling the way they feel. And I'm just like, I can no longer sit back and just not do anything about it anymore. Like because it's killing me on the inside. And I know it's killing me on the inside. But I've always just not did anything about it. And it's just like, no more. Like, this is who I am. Like, I care for every single person on the face of this planet. I don't care what you've done. I don't care what you're doing, and I don't care what you're going to do. I care about you, and I pray for you, and I will continue to pray for you. And I just wanted to tell y'all I love y'all, man. Like, from the bottom of my heart, I thank for everybody that's praying for me as I transition into this foundation. There's so many things that God is blessing me with. Y'all gonna have to forgive me for crying. I apologize. I don't think I ever cried on live, but it is what it is. Listen, I appreciate everybody that's praying for me from the bottom of my heart. This has been a huge transition for me. It's a very emotional day, so whatever. I'm gonna cry all day. So it is what it is. But it's been real. And the prayers are appreciated because they are needed. This foundation means everything to me because it means everything to this world. I just know we can really change things. and I've always shied away from trying to be who I am. And that's why I think that it was great to call it the Kevin Berthia Foundation, because it identifies, it makes me accountable for who I am. And I love that. And because that's just who I am, because Kevin is a worshiper. Kevin is a nurturer. Kevin is a lover. And, I'm going to do everything possible to make sure that I leave my imprint on this world before I leave. And my world is the mental health world. That's my call, and that's my purpose, to really just not only stop people from going to the dark place, but to pull people that are in that dark place out. It's just part of my purpose. And this foundation is going to be the change. I God has already put in my heart. I see buildings. I see the clinicians. I see the therapists. I see, the doctors. I see everything, and it's all about just staying on course. So pray for your boy. Pray for your boy, because I can't let anything stop this. Not even me. This is God's plan, and yeah, I'm just grateful. I got an inbox from a couple people because they got used to me worshiping, and I apologize that I'm not at work anymore. So I'm full-time at home. So I'm going to implement my worship at home now, and so that, we can just worship at home. So I don't work at, that company anymore. So you won't be seeing me in my white coat anymore, and the gloves or the mask on. I'm completely at home. So this foundation is 100% is what we're gearing on. So www.kevinberthiafoundation.org. Check your boy out, man. See what you can do. I would love your help. See anybody that can help with anything, or let's pull it all together. I feel like we need to come together. Mental health is big in this world. We see, so many different articles, so many different things, so many people talking about it. So it's like this foundation is going to be able to help people and change how we really deal with the mentally ill in this world. We're gonna first make people understand that they need to be treated as humans and stop being treated as animals just because they're in a dark place. And it doesn't matter if they're yelling. It doesn't matter if they're going through so many different things. You have no idea what it feels to be in a dark place. And that's why I'm humble, because when I see people on the street yelling and I see people talking to themselves, that's an imprint of just who I am. I'm able to just to be in control of it, but my insides are doing that. They just, that how they are on the outside or how I am on the inside. And so that's why I'm always careful. I never judge those people. I never look at people as a crazy or deem them as because I know how I feel. So be mindful that these people are battling, and do what you can to encourage somebody. This thing is not a joke. It's a mental battle, but it's more so a spiritual battle. And the enemy is trying his best to target, God's people, and making them believe that they are worthless and we can't do anything, and we're not enough, and it's all lies. And we have to continue to just pour positivity into ourselves and to the people around us. That's why I started this foundation, get this foundation off the ground so we can really, really do what we can to help people, like really help people, not just, a couple phone calls and then we kind of push them to the side, let them figure out. No, hands-on helping people move and transition them from where they're at in that dark place and show them that they are the light. Like, we are all the light. Some of us just don't feel it, and we have to, some of us that have this glow and the extra light about us gotta make sure other people see that they're the light, because we all have light in us. We were born with it. We don't lose our light. As long as you have breath in your body and you wake up, you have a light. It's inside of you. It's embedded in you. It will never leave you. Do you lose the sight of it? Yes, but it's in you. So it's up to us to really just be the lighthouse. And that's why I picked the symbol for my foundation as the lighthouse, because that's what we are. And I see buildings, all around this country and all around this world, and they're going to be designed as lighthouses. Like, that's that is my call. Like, I know that this is going to happen. So when you go back to this video, and that's why I'm glad, you know, it is what it is, and we can go back to this video and say on March 11, 2021, you know, I said that this was going to happen, and it's going to happen. And we will change how we deal with it. We will change the questioning. The questioning is that our loved ones, your loved ones who are dealing with, that are in a dark place, and they're out of your care, and they're somewhere getting picked up by law enforcement or whoever it is, and they're asked these horrible questions, you know, that are not connecting with them in that dark place. They have voluntary questions that give us voluntary answers. It's like, no, there's no connection in that. And we have very, very critical time when people are in those dark moments. This is why we keep continuing to lose people, because we don't realize how critical these moments are. These moments are very, very critical. You don't have a large window. When somebody's ready to open up, it's a small window. So you have to make yourself available. I don't want to hear no more about, I didn't want to get involved because I didn't know what to say. It's not... We're built with compassion on the inside of us. You have to trust who you are. If you think about what to say, you're going to fail. You don't think about what to say. You just act. You allow God to use you in that moment and make yourself available. That's what you do. We spend too much time worrying about what to say. You're not going to be able to say anything that's going to really... You yourself is not going to be able to devise anything in your brain to help anybody in a dark place. Your job is to make yourself fully available so that God can come through you and talk and speak to that individual. In that individual will be able to talk to you, tell them about what's going on, and they'll be able to hear, listen, hear. They'll be able to hear themselves. So it's not about you having a solution or an answer for their problem. It's about you being available just to listen. Like, listen to what I'm saying. You don't need to have an answer or a solution. People in a dark place, we know our problems. We know our answers. We just can't hear ourselves because we've went inside our head, and in those heads, we hear our voices and all the different things that's going on, and we can't come up with a positive answer for ourselves. But that doesn't mean we don't know the solution. It's just that we can't hear ourselves. So that's why we need you to listen. Just listen, not be problem solvers, because there's only one problem solver on the face of this planet. That's it. The greatest problem solver of them all. Okay? He doesn't need any help. Created the heavens and earth without all of our help. So in that, it's just, let's listen, right? So that the individual is able to understand exactly what they're dealing with. And then they can come up with their own answers. Because they've heard. It's so many times in my life, all I need to do is just be heard. That's it. You don't know what I've been through in my life. You don't know my deepest, darkest emotions, secrets, my demons, my dark places. You don't know any of that. So how can you devise an answer for me or tell me what I should do? How? Based on what? Based on what information that you've known? You haven't walked this walk with me. So why do we even try? That's how we keep losing people. That's how we keep that's the reason why people don't want to talk to you. That's the reason why people don't want to talk to anybody. That's the reason why you don't want to talk to anybody. It's because you automatically think somebody's going to have an answer for you. You automatically think you're going to be judged. You automatically think something's going to change in your life. And it shouldn't be like that. I should be able to come to you and say, you know what? I'm overwhelmed, and I was thinking about killing myself last night. And in you, I should be able to trust you enough to where that information is vital enough to where you can help me seek the right type of help in that moment. And it shouldn't, nothing in my life should change. I shouldn't lose my job. I shouldn't have to worry about losing my spouse. I shouldn't have to worry about losing my friends. I shouldn't have to worry about losing anything because I'm dealing with my emotions. And the problem is humans, every person on the face of this planet, we are scared to deal with our emotions because we are afraid of what we will lose because we don't want to deal with our emotions. And I just don't understand that. I can't understand how when everybody on the face of this planet, every individual on the face of this planet is dealing with something, but yet we can't talk about things because we're afraid to lose when we're all losing every moment of the day. for me it's different. I've always been different because I've always looked at the world and looked at society, and I can't understand why. I can't understand why he built me totally different. He built me different than anybody, and I've always tried to be different because I know I'm different. So I've always tried to fit or being a chameleon or try to fit in here or be this way because, oh, this environment needs this from me, or this environment. And it's just like, no, this is just who I am. And let me be a model of how not to be, because me not being myself took me to the bridge. Me not being myself caused the 22. So me being fearful of all these different things caused me to hate myself, caused me to be worthless. Me not. My true worth is me accepting who I am. Like, that's where I found my worth. Like, it wasn't in anything that anybody can give me. It's what I gave myself. Like, accepting who I am. Like, Kevin, you know how you are. You know who you are, and you know whose you are. So to be anything less than that, you're gonna always be depressed. You're gonna always feel overwhelmed. Because you're not living in your purpose. You're not living who you are. You're not living out. So if you're out there and you're depressed every day, you have to start questioning, well, am I actually living the life that I'm supposed to be living? Ask yourself, and you got to start having some real conversations with yourself. Not waiting on people to tell you, or not, you can't pray about it and thinking that, God is show. No, you got to do the legwork. Like, it take us, and it's gonna take sometimes you gonna have to be real with yourself. You gonna have to look yourself in the mirror, and you gonna have to be honest with who you are and who you want to become. And if it don't line up, if your life don't line up, because I've had to be like checked all the way at the door. God had to check me at the door. He had to check me. Said, Kevin, your life don't line up because I created you to be great. Like, I created to be you. I instill with you all these values. I made your heart bigger than life for a reason. And you've been trying to run from that. You've been trying to be everything that I created you not to be. Like, yes, you're going to love everybody on the face of this planet because I designed you like that. So the more and more you try to shy away from that and the more and more you get up and don't pray for the world like you want to, you're gonna have depression. You're gonna feel overwhelmed because you're not being who I designed you to be. And I said, all right, God, all right. It ain't no point in me trying to sit here and deny and keep lying about who I am and keep being depressed and overwhelmed because I can't. Because I want to lie about who I am. I am a complete worshiper. Okay, that's who Kevin Berthie is. I live. Every moment of my day, I think about God's, sacrifice and Jesus' sacrifice. Like, that's just who I am. Like I can be at church every day, all day, and have no problem with it. Some people be like, church over with? That's not me. I can be at church all day because it's something about the presence of God that's the most satisfying place in the world. There's no other place. I hate to leave it. Like, that's just who I am. So for me to just change anything about that, for me to just say, oh, I'm just going to live up to these standards and be, no. Like, I'm on myself more and more now, after going through this season of my life where everything had to fall apart, where I almost completely lost everything. You don't have to remind me no more, God. Like, you don't have to remind me no more how much you love me and how much you care about me and how much you're willing to sacrifice for me and how much you're willing to do for me to get my attention. You don't have to no more. Like, no more. Like, I 100% get it. And that's where, I had to make the certain changes in my life, and you're going to have to make certain changes in your life. So if you're out there and you are telling yourself, I'm tired of my life being like this, well, you can't be tired of it if you're not willing to make the sacrifices. Like, and it's going to be some hard sacrifices. It's going to be some times you're going to be overwhelmed, but you're going to be overwhelmed and trying to change. See, it's different when you're overwhelmed and you're not changing. That overwhelmness is just It drags on you. It's tiresome. It's a burden. You feel like a burden. You feel like days is a burden. But when you overwhelmed with trying to change yourself, yeah, it gets overwhelmed because you got all these different things going on. But the peace is there. The peace, you get joy. You get all these different things that come with it. And I think that people's life lack peace, and people's life our lives lack joy. Like, you know, like I don't want, man, that happiness stuff, man. That stuff for the birds. I don't want like if you are growing every day trying to be happy, you missing it, because you need stuff for that, man. Joy is instilled. That I wake up and I'm joyed because God woke me up, because I know somebody else didn't have this opportunity to wake up. So that I got a joy about me, and I got to get back to that. It was a time about me when I first got on this journey, when in 2013, when I first took my life back. You know, that was May 21st, 2013 was the first day that I woke up and I didn't feel worthless. May 21st, 2013 was the first day of my life, my whole entire life, when I woke up and I didn't want to die. I didn't feel worthless. And I needed that. It's like I wanted to build on that. That was 2,843 days ago. And the journey has been so real. You know, in the beginning I had this fire about me. You know, it was just, it was so real. It was so, you know, and you know, I got off of that fire. You know, I got challenged and I got away from that fire, and I got challenged and I got challenged, and now I'm back. Like, I'm back with this fire about me, and now I'm just like, no, I'm not ever losing this fire about me. I'm never losing this. He put something in me this time that I can't be taken. It's like, I'm in a season of not really tripping off God, wondering how you're gonna do anything anymore. It's like, you know, I lost my job. I resigned. I didn't lose my job. It's like the fact that where I'm at in life, the season I'm in, and I have to totally 100% trust God for everything. It is the most satisfying place I've ever been in my life. Let me repeat that. This is the most satisfying season I'm in, because I have to 100% trust God for everything. It's not about what Kevin can do anymore, you know? It's 100% what God can do, and what he's going to do, and what he's already doing, and what he's done. Because the foundation was already, that was already implemented. The buildings were already done. They're already being made. They just got to get my name being put on them, the foundation's name being put on them. Like this stuff is already done. Like, you know, and I have to step into the season of realizing that this stuff is already done. God, you know, we as people are never, as you took us through a whole year of this COVID, you know, literally, we're not gonna spend another day wondering how anymore. Like that's the type of people we have to become in order for us to be really just see things to change in the mental health world, to see things to change in all of our lives, to see things change everywhere. Like, we have to stop wondering the how. Stop wondering the how. Like, the heavens and the earth were created without us. Like, everything you see was just not magically created. It was created. Like the book tells us, it was created without any of us in it. So your problems that you having, we serve a God that's so big, like so big. So whatever you're dealing with, like, I promise you, surrendering is the best thing that you can do, because we keep taking on things that we cannot control. Like, I couldn't take on the bridge. Like, for 8 years, I didn't want to deal with it because I couldn't handle it. He said, give it to me and I'll show you what I was doing with it in the first place. 16 years later, here we are. And I've been traveling around this country, and I've traveled around the world, sharing everything that led me to that day, March 11, 2005. The worst day of my life that somebody took a picture of, I thought was the worst thing that ever could have happened to me. And now it's being that, you know, iconic photo of the 21st century. Like, come on, man. This stuff is just like what God can do. Like, I'm blown away what God can do. Like, what he can do with the worst things that we do. Like our most darkest days, he can turn into something most beautiful and something, a learning experience, man. I'm encouraged in the season that I am to just really just pour into people more and more and make people understand that we got this. We got to have it together. Um, um, it's so much more. Like I say, I apologize. I know this live is a little long. I was gonna get up here for a couple minutes, but I just, God put it in my heart to just pour it out because I stopped myself a lot. I never really want to speak my heart because I always feel like I'm weird. I always feel like, I want to keep it to myself because, nobody thinks like me, God. Come on, man. I can't, but I have to be like, I have to be the example. Like the more and more I stop, the more and more I try not to be me, the more and more depressed I am. The more and more heartache I put myself through, my family through. So now I'm learning, Kevin, you just got to be you. Like, I designed you for a reason. Like, and it's for this purpose. And if you don't be you, then this purpose doesn't exist. You can't live up to this purpose until you be you. You are probably one of the most empathetic people on the face of this planet. Like, I made you that way. God made me the way that I am. I think about humanity. I think about, people living on the ground in the Philippines right now. That I think about, the things that people don't think about. I think about the people that have to live outside. When it's cold, I think about the people that live when it's hot. I think about every facet of all people. That's just who I am, and I can no longer I'm the type that when things happen, and people say, well, like for instance, if a murder, I give you 100% ample. I give you my heart right now. When somebody commits a crime, or say if it's murder, somebody kills somebody, and the world turns their complete back on that person and wonders, oh, that horrible person, and says all these things. I'm the person that God says, I need you to write that person a letter, and I need you to send it to him in jail. That's who I am. And I cannot no longer be that person anymore. I care about humanity. I care about people that do hurtful things to other people. Why? Because I know they're doing it for a reason. Because my ministry is the why ministry. Okay? I don't have a after it's all done ministry and I'm a say or get on you for why you did this. No, my ministry is, let's back up 6 months, 6 years, 6 days, 6 hours, and figure out why you are where you are. That's my ministry. And I think that I can no longer sit back and allow people to get, the finger pointed at them or allow people to get talked about anymore, or slandered because of their why. Because I understand their why. Does it make them accept? Does it make the things that they're doing acceptable? Absolutely not. But my job is to make people accept who they are so they can accept their why. Because if they accept who they are, they'll never put themselves in positions to become these different things that society says they are. Like, if people accept who they are, they won't be, deadbeat followers and murderers and rapists and all these different things. People don't deal with the things that they deal with on the inside, and that causes the enemy. We live in the playground. This is the devil's playground. So if we don't deal with the things on the inside of us, he uses those things against us. And those things eventually are going to get triggered and triggered and triggered. And that's why we have a society of chaos. Because people don't deal with their things on the inside. There's no way I can kill you unless I hate the things on the inside of me. It's got to be something on the inside of me that I got to hate for me to want to kill anybody. So if anybody I guarantee you, if we sit down with people in jail that are locked away, and we really had the opportunity to talk to them and really just talk to them and ask them, like, what was going on with you? What's up with you? We really will find the truth. But the problem is we can't, because we throw them away in jail and we lock away the key because of their effect. But we never go away and say, well, why? What was the cause? And until we learn the cause, we're going to continue to have overpopulated jails. We're going to continue to have, the numbers high and losing every 40 seconds because we don't deal with the why. Your life gets better when you deal with the why. I love y'all, man. March 11, 2005, We're going to just call it a life anniversary, man. You know, God, in this moment, God, in this moment, I thank you. I thank you for keeping us, God. I thank you for allowing us to be on this earth. I thank you, and all humanity thanks you, God. No matter what we're going through, no matter what we're up against, I thank you that you give us the opportunity to face it every single day. I praise you for allowing us the gift of life. I pray that no matter where anybody is in their life, I pray that they seek refuge in you. I pray that they realize that you are the only way humanly possible that they can make it through the darkest times that they face. I pray that they seek you first. I pray that everything in their lives gets better. I pray that you wrap your arms around anybody that needs that reassurance, God, in this hour. Let them know that the sacrifices were made for them, God. We were made. We were given a complete sacrifice. You sent your son. That was a complete sacrifice, and let us never let us forget the cross was for us. When we go to our dark moments, let us be reminded that the sacrifice was made for us, God, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you more than I can ever explain in words, and more than people will ever know. But God, you know my heart. You know what we've been through, and I thank you for never giving up on me. I do. I thank you for never giving up on me, and just be there for us, God. Continue to love us. Continue to just be there, God. We need you now more than ever. For those of us that don't know you, I pray that they find you today. Because we can't do this without you. We can't do this without you, God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I love y'all, man.